Nikon's full-frame camera portfolio is amazing, but the huge array of FX format lenses is probably even more so. We've included both zoom and prime lenses, and rather than selecting solely the most costly pro-level alternatives, we've also taken value into account. In the description box below, we've added links to the most up-to-date pricing. The 14-24mm f/2.8 is Nikon's premier wide-angle zoom for pros and discriminating hobbyists. It has remarkable sharpness, quick and precise autofocus, and a large f/2.8 maximum aperture for a lens of its type. We also like the focal length range. Many camera makers use a 16-35mm lens as their top wide-angle zoom, which doesn't go as wide as this Nikon and crosses over with our top selection, the 24-70mm f/2.8. If the Nikon 14-24mm f/2.8's price and weight are too much for you to bear, not to mention the fact that this lens is now over a decade old, there are several fascinating options listed below. The Nikon 16-35mm f/4 is slower in terms of aperture, but it is substantially less expensive and weighs less. If you're looking for a fast lens, the Sigma 14-24mm has an f/2.8 aperture and is a good value at roughly $1,200. And the Nikon 20mm f/1.8, which is the lightest and cheapest of the group, is an intriguing primary alternative. None, however, can equal the optical performance or build quality of the Nikon 14-24mm f/2.8, which is still the best wide-angle lens on the market. It's not often that we include two lenses from the same manufacturer with the same focal length, but Nikon's nifty 50s deserve it. All things considered, Nikon's f/1.8G is a great lens. It focuses faster than the f/1.4 model above, is just as sharp, and yet delivers excellent low-light performance and bokeh. When you consider that opting with the f/1.8 saves you over $200, it's one of the finest deals of any FX lens on the market. What are the flaws of the Nikon 50mm f/1.8 lens? The construction quality is substandard compared to many of the pro-grade lenses included here, and it feels plasticine and light in the hand. It also misses the f/1.4's excellent low-light skills, but it's still a quick camera that can shoot even crisper when wide open. In the end, pros and low-light specialists will prefer the f/1.4, but we can't help but prefer the f/1.8 because of its lower price. The Nikon 28-300mm VR may practically serve as your lone lens in your backpack for maximum versatility. The 28-300mm VR was created expressly for FX and is one of the few such lenses for full frame, based on the popularity of all-in-one variants for Nikon's DX format cameras. Although there is some distortion at the endpoints of the zoom range, all modern Nikon full-frame camera models feature automated distortion correction. The lens is crisp throughout its zoom range and delivers decent photographs in general. And despite its weight of almost 28 ounces, the Nikon 28-300mm is actually lighter than several of the zooms listed above, including the Nikon 24-70mm, 14-24mm, and 70-200mm. All things considered, and especially for full-frame cameras, we're not big fans of all-in-one lenses. The convenience is unrivaled. However, at these focal lengths, this lens just cannot compete with primes or purpose-built zooms in terms of optical performance. The maximum aperture of f/3.55.6 is quite standard, and you won't obtain the same level of clarity or bokeh as with many of the lenses listed above. Nonetheless, many individuals prefer to carry only one lens, and the Nikon 28-300mm is ideal for them. Nikon continues to release new E lenses, and this one replaces the popular 70-300mm G version. In terms of optical performance, you get unexpectedly rapid focusing, which may be a problem with cheap telephoto zooms and excellent sharpness at a weight that is even lower than previous generations. This is the camera to choose if you want to play around with the telephoto end of the range while keeping far under $1,000. What are the Nikon 70-300mm's shortcomings? It's not as excellent a portrait or low-light lens as the 70-200mm f/2.8 above, with a maximum aperture of f/4.55.6. In terms of zoom range, the 300mm lens is adequate for wildlife and other telephoto applications, although it falls short of the 200-500mm f/5.6 lens below. This is a good alternative if you want a good telephoto zoom for Nikon FX without breaking the bank. The Sigma f/1.4 is our top FX 35mm option, but not everyone shoots at this focal length regularly enough to justify the price or weight of that lens. The Nikon 35mm f/1.8 is a good choice for these folks. For little over $500, it's one of the lightest lenses on the list, with superb clarity, rapid focusing, and decent bokeh. The 35mm focal length is now available to a wider spectrum of consumers who seek greater performance than their zooms, thanks to the affordable price point. Keep in mind that, except for a metal mount, the lens is nearly entirely made of plastic, which means it isn't particularly sturdy and may not survive indefinitely. However, this contributes to the low price and weight, which are two of the key reasons we enjoy it. The Nikon 35mm f/1.4 is the only native choice at this focal length, but it's too expensive for our tastes at roughly $1,500.